All right, welcome back to the Dolphins Country podcast. And today on episode 3, we'll be reacting to the Dolphins at Jaguars, or the Dolphins versus Jaguars, week 3 preseason finale, some takeaways from that game. And we will be trying to predict this wild 53-man roster prediction with cutdown day being tomorrow. I'm recording this on Monday. Cutdown day is Tuesday at 4 p.m. And we'll be going over some key injury updates as well. Before starting the video, please make sure to like and subscribe, comment, to let us know what you want to see in the future as we get closer to week 1. So let's get into it. Dolphins, Jags to conclude the 3-game set of preseason, our only home game of this preseason, and we get it at home against the Jags. The Jaguars did not play any of their starters. Their ones were not out there offensively or defensively. We played both of our starters on both sides of the ball. The defense looked really good. Obviously, Chop Robinson, Bradley Chubb, and Jalen Phillips were all out there. Zach Sealer was out there. No Kenneth Grant, the first-round pick. He's still dealing with an injury, but Jordan Phillips was great. It was just good to see Bradley Chubb and Chop Robinson and Jalen Phillips. Jalen Phillips especially. Because he's been snake-bitten really the last 2 years. Obviously, Chubb had the injury in Baltimore in 23 and missed all of last season, which sucked. It was great to see him out there for 3 drives. But Jalen Phillips, man, if he can stay healthy, man, there's the sky's the limit for this pass rush because he's just a freak. I mean, he put a move on one of the right tackles where I was like, man, Jalen Phillips is back, and it just pumped me up. I was actually at the game, so I saw all this unfold. That's why I just got back home now, so I would have had the podcast up yesterday probably with the game being on Saturday, but nonetheless, the offense really, really struggled. They did not look in sync at all. I'm talking about the ones, obviously, because we did play our starters. I mean, Tua. The entire offensive line outside of Austin Jackson started and played 3 drives. And I thought initially it'd be okay, maybe 1 or 2 drives, but I think that the first 2 drives being 3 and outs back to back, McDaniel kind of had no choice but to bring him out there for a 3rd drive. You can't go into the season. You can't go into Indianapolis with that kind of, glooming over your head they looked awful. I mean, it's just truth be told. They couldn't pass block up front. There was some problems on the left side of the offensive line again. So it was just all sorts of issues. And like I said, I mean, the only guy that wasn't starting on the offensive line that is a starter is Austin Jackson. So, you had Savai and I out there. You had Patrick Paul out there. You had Aaron Brewer out there. You had James Daniels out there. So the entire offensive line was out there. Now, obviously, Darren Waller wasn't. He's still obviously coming back off the PUP list. They activated him off the PUP list 2 weeks ago. But Jalen Waddle was out there. Malik Washington was out there. And the offense just couldn't get in sync the first couple of drives. They always start with a penalty, it feels like. They had a block in the back on a little screen to Malik Washington that backed him up to 1st and 18. Overall, I thought Tua looked pretty sharp. Put one right in the hands of Tanner Conner and dropped it. He was able to find Waddle for 1 catch. He was really looking at Malik Washington. Malik Washington, we talked about this on the first episode and the second episode. Malik Washington is just a dude. I mean, it's just as simple as that. The guy can flat out play football. The change of direction, the elusiveness, the contact balance. The guy doesn't go down. He had a sick move on the punt return. Where he just sent a Jaguars guy flying. And then on the play action bootleg where Tua and the offense finally scored a touchdown on their 3rd drive, Tua was able to find Malik out there on the perimeter, and he made 1 cut and good blocking downfield, and Malik Washington was in. I mean, the guy really is there is some Jarvis Landry in his game, to not to go back to the Jarvis days with him and Kenny Stills and Devontae Parker. But man, Malik Washington's got some stuff where I just love watching him play. And he's going to have a serious role. I mean, this was a 6th-round pick, I believe, 2 years ago. So he's entering his 2nd year now. And he came on strong last year to end last year. And I think genuinely, who knows what will happen with Tyreek after this year and beyond. But man, Tua, Waddle, and I think Malik Washington is going to be here for the long haul. I mean, I think the dude can seriously play. So yeah, those guys for sure looked good. That's really all I want to see. I mean, I really want to see the O-line look better than it was. They had a few nice plays in run block. By the way, the run game right now, we have no healthy running backs. I kind of stressed this last week when I talked about Alexander Mattison going down for the whole year, and I thought, okay, we got to bring in a 4th guy because right now it's just Achane, Wright, and Ollie Gordon. Since that, Jalen Wright's now gone down, so Jalen Wright is now going to be out weeks. He will not be ready for week 1. Might not be ready for week 2. So we'll see. Achane, it should be ready for week 1, but you never know with McDaniel. We'll get to that later. He's dealing with a calf. Those can sometimes get worse and become Achilles, so you want to be careful with that. I saw someone that was kind of comparing this to McCaffrey last year. Remember, he started out with a calf, and then it turned into Achilles, and he was out for a longer period of time than he was supposed to be. But nonetheless, we hope Achane's ready for week 1 because right now it's just Achane and Ollie Gordon. It's really just Ollie Gordon as the healthy running back in the room. We don't have healthy running backs right now. Jalen Wright, obviously, like I said, out for a few weeks. Madison out for the whole year. Like I mentioned last week, no one behind Ollie Gordon is good enough to make the roster. Mike Boone just got cut today. So we only have 3 running backs currently on the roster. That is Achane, Jalen Wright, and Ollie Gordon. And, the 2 aforementioned guys are already injured. The extent of the injuries, we don't know. Wright will be out weeks. Achane should be back by week 1. But it's just Ollie Gordon right now as far as who's healthy in the room. So regardless, they have to bring in at least one guy off the waiver wire or trade. They simply have to. They cannot go into Indianapolis with 1 healthy running back. They really can't go into Indianapolis with only 2 healthy running backs. So even if Achane is back by week 1 and it's Achane and Ollie Gordon, they have to bring in a 3rd guy. Because like I said, Wright will not be available for that week 1 game in Indy. So we'll see who they go after. Mike Boone obviously just isn't good enough to make the roster. I think I mentioned that. I was like, it's not happening. This is a guy who's been bounced around. He's not making the roster. So they got to bring in another guy. Who that is, we don't know. We'll check the waiver wire, by tomorrow whenever everyone's rosters are cut down to 53, and we'll see if they can maybe trade for a guy before the season starts. But it's not looking good in the running back room. I already stressed enough about the running back depth last week. I don't need to go too in detail about it this week, but I was really impressed by the starting defense. I'm gonna mention it again. I thought Chop, JP, Bradley Chubb, they looked awesome. They looked explosive. Matthew Judon even played. Willie Gay obviously played. Jordan Phillips, the rookie, continues to make plays. Obviously in absence of Kenneth Grant, but we still had a rookie defensive tackle that made a bunch of plays out there on Saturday. His motor, he's wearing Christian Wilkins' number, and there's some Christian Wilkins stuff as far as the motor is concerned. The guy is like making tackles 20 yards downfield on screens. It's just like the dude it felt like he was involved. Watching it from where I was seated, it felt like he was involved in every single play, or almost every single play. It's like, oh, there's Jordan Phillips again. It's funny, we have so many we have Jalen Phillips, and then we have Jordan Phillips. We have a bunch of J's on this team. Nonetheless, let's get into the 53-man roster prediction, because I did this last night, and it's already gone, not according to plan, at least not for me. Because this morning I woke up and guess who got cut? Mike Hilton got cut. It was rumored it could happen, obviously. I'm not totally shocked, but I said it last week. I said if the Dolphins cut Mike Hilton, they're even more serious. They're even more unserious than I thought, and evidently they are. So they cut Mike Hilton, their only proven known good player in the secondary, or in the cornerback room, obviously, because Mink is obviously a good player, if you Melifonwu. But in the cornerback room, he's the only proven known good player. We have 9 years of game evidence, actual game evidence that proves he's a good slot corner, he's a good nickel, and he has been. He's played in the Super Bowl. He's played in multiple AFC Championship games. He's been a focal point of a top 10 defense before, and obviously they cut him. So I say obviously, like this was obviously not the right move. So now the Dolphins are going into the season with an entire corner room of unproven guys and unheard of guys, really. Again, does anyone know who Jack Jones, Storm Duck, Jason Marshall Jr., Cam Smith, and Ethan Bonner are? No, they don't. No one knows who they are. Not saying they're bad, but nobody knows that these guys are good because there is no game evidence of them being good. Kendall Sheffield, another guy. We have no idea if these guys are good or not. We at least knew that Mike Hilton was good. He has 9 years of evidence that proves he's a good slot corner. That's why I figured, okay, once Darth Cater went down, our starting slot corner, they immediately brought in Mike Hilton a day later. I was like, okay, thank you. At least they solved that. They still have 2 boundary guys they need to figure out. And now they obviously don't even know what their slot corner. Their slot corner is going to be Jason Marshall Jr., the day 3 rookie corner out of Florida. So they're just rookie corners. We'll see how that goes. Good luck. I think, again, I wish Jason Marshall Jr. all the luck in the world. I hope he's really good. Obviously, I hope I'm wrong. But, we had a guy that was actually good, that we know is good, who's got 9 years of evidence of being good. So, it is what it is. The Dolphins want to go with a totally unproven cornerback room as far as the boundary goes, and in the slot, in the nickel. Now, apparently they can re-sign Mike Hilton after week 1, and then his contract wouldn't be guaranteed at that point. But, and again, that's the only thing. People are like, oh, don't give Greer too much slander here. He can still bring him back, but for, cheaper or something like that. Obviously, first of all, Mike Hilton's clearly getting picked up. He's going to get scooped before the end of week 1. So this is obviously going to backfire in Greer's face. Per usual, it's just dumb to even think that way. He will obviously find his way onto a roster here within the next week or two. That's a no-brainer. So that's sad. It's sad that the Dolphins have no corners that I have any faith in whatsoever heading into the season. Not one. Not a single one. So we'll see how that goes week 1. Again, we'll know a lot about this team in week 1 against the Colts, because if Daniel Jones and that receiver room shreds us. You're not going to, but first of all, you're not going to face many quarterbacks worse than Daniel Jones or worse than the Colts quarterback room in general. You're not going to face many receiver rooms worse than the Colts receiver room. So we'll know week one. If they shred us through the air for 400 yards passing or 300 yards passing, this will be obviously a long season in the secondary. The good thing is to mitigate that, I do believe we have an awesome pass rush. I mean, assuming these guys stay healthy, which is a big thing to assume. The front four should be really good, and the depth at pass rush I think is really, really good. So maybe they can mask what is a little bit of a, well, not a little bit, a very, very questionable Dolphin secondary. Right now, it's just like I have no good things to say about this corner room right now, other than I hope Storm Duck has an awesome year too, and I hope that Jack Jones is, good. You're just kind of praying, because these guys have shown absolutely nothing as of now that Dolphin fans should be like, oh, don't worry, they'll be fine. We'll be okay at corner. These guys are good. We have no idea if they're good or not. We have no idea if they're bad, but obviously there's no signs. Cam Smith is entering year 3. We have not even heard his name on an NFL Sunday before. So it's a wait and see game. And I figured, okay, at least we have Mike Hilton, who's got evidence of being good. So we should be fine at slot corner. But no, we are now relying on a rookie day 3 guy out of Florida. Hopefully he can have an awesome rookie year. We'll see. So to the roster prediction, I have, initially I had Mike Hilton making the roster. He is obviously not going to be on the 53-man roster, at least not the initial one. Maybe they bring him back, but it's not happening. So he's not on the roster. I got that one wrong already. I had Pharaoh Brown making the 53-man roster at tight end. This is a guy they brought in. He's a good run blocking tight end. He won't be on the roster either. So maybe they only keep 3 tight ends, which I mean I wouldn't hate. But right now they currently have 4. They still have Hayden Rucci is still here. So we'll see. But right now it is Darren Waller, it is Julian Hill, and it is Tanner Connor. Those are the 3 that are probably safe, because they're not going to go into the season with 2 tight ends. So at this point, Tanner Connor is safe, unless Hayden Rucci is the 3rd tight end. So they could keep 3 or they could keep 4. But right now they have 4. We'll see how that goes. But so right now the running back room is set. It's Achane, it's Wright, it's Ali Gordon, like I mentioned earlier. The quarterback room is going to be set. It's going to be Tua, Zach, and Quinn. Obviously, they'll keep the fullback Alec Ingold. So that's really 4 running backs if you want to count Alec Ingold. So that'll be what the backfield will look like. It'll be 3 quarterbacks and 4 backs, 3 being running backs and 1 being Alec Ingold. As far as the receivers go, I believe this is my final prediction. So I mean, we'll know by tomorrow at 4:00. But my final prediction is Tyreek Hill, Jalen Waddle, Malik Washington, Nick Westbrook-Akine, D. Eskridge, and Taj Washington. So I think they keep 6, and I think those are the 6. Those are pretty safely the 6, in my opinion. I think Theo Weiss Jr. just didn't quite. I mean, it's just tough. It's just I want to keep 7, but I don't have enough room. So I'm sorry. But those 6 for sure. Tight end, my guess is they'll keep 3. Again, like I said, right now they have 4, but my guess is it's going to be Waller, Julian Hill, and Tanner Connor. Again, these are revised because I was already wrong. I had Pharaoh Brown making it. He will not be on the team. Obviously, he just got cut. So I think now Tanner Connor, I had Tanner Connor making it anyways. I had them keeping 4. But after cutting Pharaoh Brown, I no longer believe they keep 4. I think they just keep 3. And I think it'll be Darren Waller, Julian Hill, and Tanner Connor. So I think Hayden Rucci is going to get cut, but he can make it. At this point, he can make it. With how many Dolphins guys are going to be injured to start the year, maybe he does make the initial roster. So I wouldn't put it past him. As far as the offensive tackles, I think they're going to keep 4. I think it'll be Patrick Paul. I think it'll be Austin Jackson. I think it'll be Larry Borum as a swing tackle. And I think they're going to keep Keon Smith. I think they like Keon Smith. Obviously, he got injured in preseason last year towards ACL. He was out for the year. I think he'll make the team this year just because they simply need the depth at offensive line. They already cut Jackson Carman. I don't believe Ryan Hayes will make the roster. So I do believe it'll be Keon Smith just because they need the depth at offensive line. Simple as that. So I think they'll keep 4 tackles. I think they'll keep 4 interior linemen, which means guards, centers. Aaron Brewer, lock. Jonas Savaianaya, lock. James Daniels, obviously a lock. Those are the starters. And I think they're going to keep 1 of Liam Eichenberg and or Andrew Meyer. Maybe they keep both. And maybe they keep 2 of Liam Eichenberg, Andrew Meyer, and Braden Daniels. I wouldn't totally rule out Braden Daniels. I know they liked him, and he had a good preseason. I don't think he did enough to make the team. So I think it's going to be 1 of Eichenberg or Andrew Meyer. Now, Eichenberg might not start the season healthy, so that might clear up a roster spot. And then Andrew Meyer, I think, would for sure make it. If Eichenberg's healthy enough to make it, maybe they just go with him. Maybe they go with both. I don't know. I'm going to say that they're going to go with 4 interior offensive linemen. And my guess as of today would be Liam Eichenberg would be the 4th. But if you told me that they keep 5, I wouldn't be shocked. As a matter of fact, they might need to keep 5 now with because I think I have 52 people on here right now. I don't even have 53. I think I'm actually down a guy because I kind of just assumed that Pharaoh Brown would make it. And ever since Pharaoh Brown didn't make it, I didn't replace him with anybody. So it might just be they keep 4 tight ends, or maybe they could just keep 5 guards. And maybe they keep Eichenberg and Andrew Meyer. But like I said, the Eichenberg injury throws us for a wrench. So we have no idea. And McDaniel doesn't tell us anything about injuries either. So that's another problem that we'll get into a little bit later here. But that's the offense. So I think they're going to keep 25 guys on offense. I think they're going to keep 25 guys on defense. And as far as the D-line goes, this one I made a swap out just late right here. I had them keeping, obviously, Zach Sealer, Kenneth Grant, Jordan Phillips, Benito Jones, and I have them keeping Matt Dickerson. I think it's going to come out of him and Zeke if they keep 5. I think they're going to keep 5 at this point. They could keep 4, but I think they need the depth there. And, Zeke Biggers was our 7th-round pick. I think they want to keep him. Usually they keep 7th-round picks. But, man, I love what I've seen from Matt Dickerson this year. It's going to be close. They probably end up keeping Zeke. But I gave the edge to Matt Dickerson. I think he, either way. It could go either way. But I think they're going to keep 5. There's a world where they both get cut. There's also a world where they both make it. So, I don't know. I'm gonna lean Matt Dickerson here as the 5th defensive lineman to make the roster. I think Zeke Biggers ends up getting cut and comes back on the practice squad. As far as outside linebackers are concerned, Jalen Phillips, obvious. Bradley Chubb, obvious. Chop Robinson, easy. Matthew Judon is going to make it. And it comes down to 5 and 6 for me. I think they're going to keep 6. I really do. I just think there's too many good players here to not keep all these guys. So I had them keeping Quentin Bell. Maybe he's a surprise cut. Wouldn't shock me if knowing Greer. And I think they have to keep Grayson Murphy. I just think he's just too good of a player to cut. I love Grayson Murphy. He's just simply shown too much to not make the team. Like I understand we're loaded at the position right now, but like I said, all these guys have had injury histories before. And again, this is before bringing in Matthew Judon. I really thought that Grayson Murphy would make it. Maybe he doesn't make it now, or maybe bringing in Matthew Judon means that Quentin Bell won't make it. Maybe they only keep 5, and it's possible that Bell or Murphy don't make it. I think they should both. Honestly, I think they should both make it. I really do. I think they're both good enough. We'll see if I'm right or wrong about that. Probably gonna be wrong. But we'll move on to inside linebackers. This one is easy to me. Like I said last week, I think it should only keep 4. It should be Jordan Brooks, Tyrell Dodson, Willie Gay Jr., and KJ Britt. And even KJ Britt, I'm like not too high on. So it's as simple as that. Channing Tindall didn't do enough. Eugene Asante, I like him. Unfortunately, he got hurt late in the preseason game against Jacksonville, was holding his leg. Hope that's not serious, but I don't think he's making the roster. So I think they'll keep 4 inside linebackers. Corner was way wrong about this one. Mike Hilton obviously is gone. So it appears that Storm Duck and Jack Jones are locks to make it on the boundary. Kendall Sheffield appears like a lock to make it. And Jason Marshall Jr. appears like a lock to make it as their starting nickel corner now. It looked like Jason Marshall Jr., the rookie out of Florida, and Mike Hilton, the experienced veteran, were battling for the slot corner position, the starting slot corner. And apparently Jason Marshall Jr., the rookie, won. So that means he'll make the roster. You can't have 0 slot corners on the roster. So he's in line to make it. And I believe Cam Smith gets the 5th and final spot. I initially had 6 corners, them keeping 6 corners. I feel like they have to keep 6 just because they really don't have any proven good ones. So maybe just keep as much as you can. Hopefully one of them hits. But right now I had them keeping 5. I don't think Ethan Bonner makes it at this point. I think he's also dealing with an injury. So it just kind of complicates these things. They cut Ethan Robinson, another rookie. They cut Cam Dantzler. They cut, obviously, Mike Hilton. Cornell Armstrong's obviously not making it. So I think they only keep 5 unless they, keep Ethan Bonner or Isaiah Johnson. I don't see that happening. So as of now, I have them keeping 5 because they obviously cut Mike Hilton out of nowhere. Safety is concerned. I think they'll keep 5 at this point. I think Minka's a lock. Ife Melifonwu is a lock. Elijah Campbell is a lock. And then if Ashton Davis is healthy, apparently he'll be fine. At least that's what I'm hearing. Again, McDaniel tells us nothing, so we don't really know for sure. But if Ashton Davis is fine to start the season and doesn't start the season on PUP, he will make it, obviously. And I think Dante Trader Jr. gets the 5th and final spot at safety there. I think they cut Jordan Colbert. I think they cut Patrick McMorris. And I think they cut John Saunders Jr. Matter of fact, they already did cut John Saunders Jr. So I think those are the 5 safeties we roll into the season with. As far as the kicker goes, and this is really the one I wanted to gloss on here. Jason Sanders is now out for at least the first 5 weeks of the season. So Mike McDaniel just blatantly lied to the media on Saturday night. He said, Jason Sanders was fine. In fact, he kind of even mocked and joked around a little bit that Jason Sanders could kick PATs if he needed to. that they just wanted the 2-point conversion practice. They just need to practice on their 2-point tries. So really just not giving the media anything, blatantly lying to our faces yet again for the second time this preseason. It's happened a lot now at this point. I've lost track. He just, same thing with Madison. He said Madison was fine. And then the very next day he was in the hospital getting neck surgery and was out for the season. So what does fine mean to him? Evidently it doesn't mean fine at all. So I have no idea because literally Saturday night, 41 hours before I'm taping this right now, Mike McDaniel said that Jason Sanders was fine and would be ready to go for week 1. And it was not a big deal. Didn't even tell us what the injury was. So I just now found out literally 10 minutes ago that it's a hip injury. Thanks, Adam Schefter, for finally getting to the bottom of that. So we had no idea what the heck the injury was. McDaniel obviously tells us nothing. So like I said, and he just blatantly just didn't tell the truth. I mean, it's now a month injury. So on Saturday, it was, don't worry, he'll be fine for week 1. He just, he even could have kicked extra points. We just, it wasn't necessary. He'll be fine for week 1. Don't worry. Now, 41 hours later, it's, oh yeah, he'll be out like games. He'll be out like till like mid-season, maybe like 4 to 5 weeks. Like he'll probably be back in October. And it's like, oh, but don't worry, it's not season ending. So it went from he'll be fine for week 1 to don't worry, guys, it's not season ending. He won't need surgery. It's like, that's just 2 completely different things. Like that, might as well just not even tell us he's fine at that point. But again, whatever. You can never take anything he says at face value at this point. He's been doing that for a number of years. I'm just getting annoyed with it. I'm getting annoyed with the whole secrecy thing. I mean, it's like what are we doing here? Whatever. At this point, I'm over that. So Jason Sanders is going to be out. So now we need a new kicker. A guy who's made 28 straight field goals, I believe, dating back to last year, is not going to start the season healthy. So hopefully one of these new kickers, whoever we bring in. So I physically can't predict what kicker is going to be on the team because we don't have one right now at the moment. So we'll see which kicker we bring in. Hopefully they don't cost us an early season game. But yeah, we need Jason Sanders back healthy like immediately. This is a Pro Bowl kicker. So yeah, not good stuff right now for the Dolphins. The last 48 hours has really been rough. I mean, and this, by the way, comes on the heels of an undefeated preseason. So just we'll see what happens. I'll be back after. I believe next week we're gonna preview week 1. We'll react to the actual full roster because even after tomorrow at Tuesday at 4:00, the initial roster, 53-man roster, not necessarily the actual official roster. It's just the initial one because then you got to go through waiver wires, trades still happen. So it's not the official 53-man roster that'll be finalized tomorrow. We'll get down to 53 players. But I mean, even last year, you saw we brought in Grant Dubose off the waiver wire who got cut from Green Bay. And he ended up like starting for us week 2 against Buffalo, was dropping 1 million balls. So obviously this is not the official 53-man roster. I'm just predicting what I think is going to happen by this time tomorrow at 4:00. But yeah, thanks guys for joining episode 3. Make sure to, again, to like and subscribe and comment what you want to see in the future. And yeah, go Fins.